guys, Captain Clutch here. Going over the tanking challenge for the Guardian Druid. We got it last night, and we're going to try and give out best of our ability to help everybody else get their sick Fel Bear. So we're not going to waste any time, we're going to jump right into it, but first I'm going to get started just going over the gear that we used. It was pretty much all Shadowlands gear. The only deviation was the trinkets. We stacked as much haste and verse as possible. The only time I forego a haste verse piece is if either A, I had a piece with leech on it, or B, I didn't have a haste verse piece at all. So we basically, the haste is great, helps with the damage. Verse, same thing as well. Healing, damage reduction, damage output, all of that stuff. We didn't farm any time walking sets or anything of that nature, so I know that it is possible. The only difference of using was trinkets, where we went and got the Ravage Seed pod from the Emerald Nightmare first boss, which helped with ads. I only used it on 2 poles, and we'll get into that here in just a second. And then the Endless Tincture of Renewed Combat, which it was a BFA Alchemy trinket, I believe, that you can buy off the auction house. And all this trinket really does, it doesn't help for phase 2, but it sure as heck makes phase 1 trivial when it comes to healing. Basically, any of the hordes you kill, the eyeballs you kill, the infernals, any of that, every time it dies, you gain health. And it is huge. Really made phase 1 just a walk in the park. And what I mean by that is, as I got more and more attempts and kept going and going, I didn't have to really focus much on phase 1, you know, managing cooldowns, healing, all of that stuff. So I didn't use these trinkets until probably 50 or 60 attempts. Like I said, the seed pod I only used for 2 or 3 runs, and I had a bunch of sub 6% pulls before I swapped to the seed pod. So I still think it's doable without the seed pod and without the other one. But I will say it makes it easier. And the biggest thing is my kill phase 2 was just the cleanest phase 2 that we had. So without further ado, we are going to jump into the video. And oh, I forgot the weapon. We used Jotun's just for the extra damage basically in phase 2. But let's get to it. Okay, coming into the fight now, we zone in. We have a little bit of RP. This is a really good time to basically, if you don't have your food buff, put your food buff, sit down, eat, get your flask on, get your oils, all of that jazz. Maybe a little bit of prep time just to figure out, you know, go through some scenarios, what you're looking to do. We're going to deal with the Inquisitor first. So immediately we're going to start in Boomkin form, get as much damage out as we can. In the earlier attempts, was popping Heart of the Wild here. In the later attempts, I was saving it for Cruel, as I would push the phase too fast. That eye spawn, we kill it right away. First set of horrors coming out. This is where a really good strategy, try and dot up as many with Moonfire. We're going to go into it with our Berserk, drop that seed. Kind of overkill on using Berserk and Seed at the same time, but it lines up really well to have Seed available for Cruel, at least with my damage and phasing. So once again, dotting up those eyes. We don't want to let too many of them get out. In case you don't know, if they are channeling you and you are not facing them, by the time the channel ends, they will knock you back. First Inferno spawns. We have another set of horrors coming out. Well, I shouldn't say I turned, but I got hit with the Infernal there, which that drained life. Was unfortunate, but we recover. We're going to interrupt the Nether Storm, which, once again, you want to let the Nether Storm finish casting before you interrupt it. If you interrupt, knockback, disorient before it finishes channeling, then they will immediately channel again. But if you get it right as it finishes channeling, then they will not cast it. So same thing, ads are all dead, downtime, we're in Boomkin form, putting dots, getting that Sunfire, Moonfire back up. Another set of horrors comes out. We're going to go ahead, dot everything up that we can. Seed pod is up, so we're going to run in, we're going to drop the seed pod, same thing. We're going to just as much damage as we can, roar to stop the channel. Almost got the double dip where we could have got Drain Life with the Nether Storm, which would save that interrupt, but not too much else. I mean, this phase is pretty much, this is the standard rotation that I employed here, that got a lot of good attempts in. Eventually, as you'll see here later, get the kill where, you know, horrors aren't up. We're going to be in Moonkin form, applying dots, kiting infernos, you know, Moonfire on everything. We want to put Moonfire on every single thing that we can. Channel finishes, we interrupt, and then we're just going to go back to killing them. So here, when we're about 10k health, is when I start planning how I want to phase into phase 2, because you really want to try and get a clean phase, meaning there's no horrors up. I mean, best case scenario, infernals are dead. Now you can't always guarantee that, but you can try your best. And here I notice my seed's up. Like I said, I used it on that first one, so I could, basically I would have it for a Gruul, but horrors just spawn. I can drop seed here, and I'm like, I'm phasing this guy. Basically, clean phase, horrors die. You know, we still have an infernal up, but now is where Heart of the Wild, drums, potions, get dots up. Unfortunate that I didn't dodge that beam and we get dragged in the middle. And this is kind of the scary first part, is I am not using anything on that first Annihilate, which is what I would recommend. No cooldowns on the first Annihilate. And then this second one, on this first set of horrors, I'm going to pop my weapon, my Jotun. We're going to Berserk, and we're just going to spam swipe to basically build up as many Iron Furs as we can, because on the second Annihilate, we're just going to eat it with the Iron Furs. So here I'm at 2. Basically, I only had 2 Iron Furs, chunked me for about 60%. Leap comes after, but I used a pot. We're back in Moonkin form, just reapplying those dots, and we're kiting. You know, here, basically I am doing my best. Seed pod's back up, so we're going to drop it here to just kill everything. Got extremely low, but luckily that trinket was seed pod. Aggressive reposition. I got hit by that Inferno. Probably shouldn't have. And now is when I'm going to start using these orbs. And the only reason I'm using these orbs is I am stalling the Annihilates. I am doing everything I can to try and buy time. I wasn't able to get to that one quick enough, so I survivaled. It's in a green pool here, and you can see how slow we are, so we're just going to eat it right away. Still buying time, still buying time. Basically, we have that last one, and this is where, you know, we almost wipe here because of these purple lines, but we knock back, we roar, waiting as long as possible, hitting that last orb, which pretty much, you know, at this point I was confident we'd have it. I had to survive one more Annihilate. We had one more survival up, and at this point we know that we have the kill, and we just finished them off. So in recap, you know, basically the big things that we got to watch out for. Phase 1, you know, kill eyes on cooldown. Be in Moonkin form as any time that horrors are not up. I don't run in and melee the boss. I'm in Moonkin form doing as much damage as possible. I don't want to have to deal with stacks. Once horrors are up, it helps to Moonfire as many as you can before they get to you. AoE them down. Make sure to incapacitating roar once the cast time finishes. It takes a little bit of timing. You might have a couple wipes due to it, but you want the cast to finish. That way, if you don't have the damage to kill them immediately, they will not. You don't risk having another Nether Storm channel. Outside of that, really try to get a clean push into phase 2. I'm talking, you know, kill horrors, then phase the boss. You don't want to go into the boss into phase 2 right when horrors are coming out. It's going to be a nightmare with kind of the, you know, for me, the panic, the stress, everything going on. It was a lot to deal with. So getting that clean phase, making sure drums, you know, I'm gonna reiterate in the description below everything that we were using, but you know, drums, potion, and go to town. Save all of those orbs the best you can. Save every single orb to stall the Annihilates between number 3 and 4. And you guys got this. I believe in you. So if you have any specific questions, please feel free. Discord, Twitch is below. you can message me on either one or in game, or respond here, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. But other than that, good luck, and I hope you guys get this amazing Fell Bear. Take care.